What's going on, everybody? It's the Monday Meltdown. The angry golfer's back. Nah, I'm just playing. Not really angry, just kind of hanging out. Hard to believe it's already almost Memorial Day. It's crazy. It seems like yesterday I was in the truck trying to decide when to leave for Florida. Um, those of you guys that have been following along know I had some major life changes happen in the fall. When Bogey passed, it kind of changed everything. And then I closed the business and nothing mattered anymore. And I didn't care. And I almost had my Nicolas Cage leaving Las Vegas moment. I was headed to Florida and I wasn't coming back. I didn't plan on it. I was just going to spend all my money and have fun and just be a disaster until I was done. And then when it was over, it was over. Some good friends and some soul searching and um, a new excitement on life has kind of kept me back in it. I'm starting to feel like myself again. For the past few years, everything I did was wrong and everything I said was wrong. And people love me until they disagree with me. They ask my opinion, and then when I give them my opinion, they don't like it. So then I'm an asshole. All right, well, don't ask my opinion. Anybody that's ever dealt with me knows I'm going to tell it like it is. I'm a straight shooter and it is what it is. If you don't like that, that's fine. I get it. There's going to be a lot of people that don't like me. Stay away from me. If you stay away from me, I stay away from you. I have no problem with anybody that doesn't like me. I don't care until you disrespect me. And then when you disrespect me, the gloves are off and the lyrical assassin comes out. So it is what it is. Let's get back to some golf. I'm excited for the PGA this weekend. For those of you guys that gamble, everybody's been reaching out. What's your pick? What's your pick? What's your pick? I'm not a gambler, so I try not to influence or affect what other people do with their money. So I will give you majors, Ryder Cup, stuff like that. I'll give you my thoughts, maybe even some women's majors and things like that. But I don't want to go too much into it because it's not really a road that I go down. I love Mickelson to make the cut. He's been playing okay, and he loves these old style golf courses. Jason Day coming off a huge win last week, popular win too. You see all the guys reaching out on social media, and Rory gave him a huge hug on the range yesterday. So it's cool to see. Jason Day seems like uh, professional's choice. Player's choice was the word I was looking for. Sorry, stumbled. But he seems like a good dude, and you hate to see a guy that's at the top of the world fall because of injury. So awesome to see him back in the winning column. And last but not least, kind of in the same boat. And no, not because Cobra Puma is sponsoring the podcast. By the way, these t-shirts, amazing. If you go online, they're not t-shirts, they're golf shirts. They feel like golf shirts. The only thing I'm bumming, I wish I would have ordered the same size. I ordered a large thinking they were cotton. They're not. So if you're going to buy them, you're going to order them online, make sure you order the same size that you usually order in a golf shirt. I should order mediums. But again, I'm not because I'm a Puma Cobra guy. Last but not least of the sleepers, Ricky Fowler. He's been playing great. He made the cut probably in the last, I don't know, 5 or 10 events that he's played, and I like him. I like him to make the cut. Wouldn't be surprised if one of those three, if not all three, are there on the weekend. Um, guys to win, it's the usuals. You can't not mention Rahm. He's just a stud. He loves these old golf courses. He loves to play the slopes, the humps and bumps. It's what he does. Can't count out DJ either. I think he won last week. I don't know. Does anybody know? Um, I can't believe CW cut away from the coverage. It's nuts. It's crazy. Brooks is playing well. Obviously, he's going to be a favor. But my pick this week to win, he's struggling a little bit, but he got a call from the best in the world, Tiger. and he spent some time at his house. Tiger noticed a flaw and called Roars and said, "Come on over, we got to talk." So they worked together this week down at Medalist. So I like Rory to win. That's my pick to win. But again, you know how it is. It's hit or miss. You never know. Back to Live. How about the CW cutting away from coverage? You're either going to cover it or don't cover it. I mean, you got a three-way playoff. It's excitement. Even people that weren't watching full time might have tuned in just for the playoff. That was your chance. And I heard they cut away for like reruns of Chicago Fire and um, CSI and stuff like that. So it's kind of sad to see. But the one positive I will say about Live is I think the political outrage is finally kind of calming down a little bit. I get it. The Saudis aren't good people, and Live is sports washing. And I was fine with it at first when people wanted to make us think about it. I get it. The guys took their money, they got roasted, they paid their dues. All right, good talk. It's over. Right now, let's get back to golf. Um, they're the best players in the world. Let's find a way to get them some world ranking points and see them in the majors. Yes, I'll still watch the PGA Tour, but no, it's not the same as the majors if those guys aren't in it. And I felt the same way back with the European Tour. I didn't watch the European Tour, but when those guys came over, I watched them in the majors. So, again, I hope we're now past the political part of it, and then we can get them into some points. But I kind of agree. The one thing I do agree with the girl on TV today, I'm drawing a blank. It's not Bailey Mosier. I'm sorry, guys. She's on the Golf Channel, but she was going on and on and on, and it was great. She was being honest. I thought she gave the guys from Live a fair shake. She had a great point. It's 54 hole event compared to 72 hole event. I think you're gonna have to see Live switch to 72 holes if they want to get some ranking points. The other point that she made that I agree with 100%, and people disagree with me a lot of times, but it sucks to play a shotgun. Especially in stroke play when you don't know where you stand and you're coming down the stretch, and you may have an easy par five to finish on, and they may have the hardest hole on the golf course to finish on. Now, yeah, you got to play them all, and it's 72 over the course of the event, but shotgun starts, it's just not fair. The golf course is designed a certain way. The architect, and he's like a writer, right? You would never start a love story with the wedding. You got to work your way into the finish, and something that me and Brian were talking about, especially with Donald Ross and in these old school golf courses, is how difficult they are and how early they get after you. They're designed a certain way, and they're designed to be played a certain way. So I agree with her, and I commend her for giving them a fair shake. She wasn't just anti-Live. She was saying those guys need to be in the majors. They're some of the best in the world, but here's my opinion on why they shouldn't get world ranking points. And I don't think I agree with her 100%, but I agree with her to the point where, those things need to change to get them to be considered some of the best in the world. Um, you know, Even bigger day Sunday, changing the topics a little bit. I'm a huge Celtics fan. Bigger day Sunday for Tatum. Love playoff anything. I'm not really a hockey guy, but if the Bees were playing tonight in the playoffs, I'd be watching it. Everybody says my sport's the best, or hockey playoffs are the best, or how. To be honest, I think the sport that changes the most in the playoffs for me is baseball. You go from boring 162 games, and then all of a sudden you get to the postseason, and it's 2-1 ball games with runners on scoring position every inning, and the best pitchers rise to the top. To me, it's baseball. The playoff baseball is awesome. But I'm not going to sit and watch the Sox 102 games a year, so 162 a year. Sorry, so it is what it is. There I was Saturday night, thinking to myself, what am I going to do tomorrow? Let's play some golf, maybe. Maybe I should text Tip and Mike and say, let's go play my first round of the year. So much for that. I would have got big timed. I'm glad I didn't. I didn't think I'd turn on Game 7 and see my boy sitting front row next to Kraft. It was kind of funny. I was joking with him about the giant red hat. Um, you sit there, anybody watches highlights or whatever, he's literally right behind Missoula with a giant red hat in the middle of a sea of black and green, and the sixes are red. So I don't think he did it on purpose. He told me it was the Pat the Patriot hat, so I won't give him too much of a hard time. But it was kind of funny. He was telling me he had his Larry David moment from Curb Your Enthusiasm when he tripped Shaq walking from the bench to the scorer's table. He was waiting for his big feet to get in the way. It's a pretty funny conversation, but awesome. That must have been a blast. It's cool to see people going to the game and having fun. As I said, I wasn't feeling good enough to rant yesterday, so I skipped it. I just said, all right, I'm not going to do it. I won't do a Monday meltdown. I'll just wait. But and then I got to thinking, how many times did I suffer through the day in the golf business? You wake up like I did yesterday, where I can barely get out of bed, and I'm struggling to make anything happen. I think I slept until like 2:30 yesterday, and then when I finally did get out of bed, I wasn't feeling well, and I'm starving, and I can't eat. Um, I just need it once a month. I need a day. I just need a day where I don't do anything, and I just catch up. I woke up today feeling great. So, it's tough with rheumatoid arthritis. It's tough. I'm not gonna lie. I've been fighting wearing sleeves on my knees and my ankle, but I have been the last couple of days, and I see a huge difference. So I got to do it. It's one of those things you can't just do it once in a while. You know how golfers are. We want everything to feel the same all the time. So you either do it or you don't. Scott from 617 Golf was like, "Yeah, I forgot my ankle brace the other day, and it was a big mistake." And I told him, I said, "Yeah, it's a mistake from a pain standpoint, but it's a mistake from a feel standpoint. If you get used to wearing a brace, whether it's a back brace or a knee brace or whatever, your golf swing is going to move to accommodate for that brace. So, it looks like this is my move going forward: knee brace and ankle brace, and no more fighting it. It is what it is. I can't help it. When my knees are swollen the way they are right now, I can't really feel the bottom when I step, and my feet don't really leave the ground purposely. You know, um, I walk kind of dragging my feet, not really dragging them, but close. So anybody that's ever walked with me down a bad sidewalk has probably seen me stumble or trip if I'm having a conversation with you, because I'm not looking down. I'm looking at you, and my feet hit anything that's elevated. And we laugh about it, and I've never really talked about it, but obviously the ex-girlfriend that was with me everywhere saw it more often than not. When my arthritis is bad, my hands and my feet are bad. I drop things all the time. I can't make a fist. Fortunately for me, the one finger that is the worst that won't close is on my right hand, and it doesn't affect my golf swing. So, as long as my knees and feet are okay, I can play golf. But when they're sore like they are now, I'm always looking down because I'm afraid to take a bad step, and then you end up with bad back problems and shoulders and this, that, and the other thing. So it's been crazy. You try to do the best you can to manage it. I got to figure out health insurance. I got to call and get Mass Health and get that ball rolling. But it just, it just seems like I never knew where I was going to be permanently. So we're here now. We've been here a few months, so I gotta take that next step. I think I'm ready to hit a bucket of balls. So we'll see. We're getting there. As I said, I was gonna wait until Friday for the episode to air before I address this, but I was out running errands this morning, and a conversation with a friend kind of inspired me to kind of do the angry golfer thing. He started talking about tournaments, and one of the tournaments that he recently played got won by another one of the usuals. And he said they would get guys were booing him, and he was laughing all the way to get the trophy and all the way to the bank. Well, that's what they do. They laugh. They think it's funny. Um, I've mentioned several times that cheating on your handicap is no different than dropping a ball. You start the event, however many shots your handicap is fat above the field. It's like, guys, stop playing. Um, you know, he's not even a golfer, and he knew the 5 or 6 names. He's naming the guys that have left the club that he was talking about. He's talking about the word steal. They steal the events because that's what it's become now. It's become a job for them. Um, pro shop credit and things like that. They sell it when they win it. It's kind of crazy. It's something has to be done, but members are fed up. But what they don't realize is they're the ones that caused it. For 20 years, you've done everything. I've watched being in the golf business, tournament chairman after club president, try to solve the handicap problem by penalizing the good players. We don't want them to win everything. It's not fair. The best player wins everything. Why? You go to any other sport, the best player wins. Now, handicaps are great. They are supposed to even the playing field. But the best player should still win. He should still play the best under tournament conditions. Um, you know, then you get the bullshit excuse about the gross prize. Oh, it's a net tournament. You guys have the opportunity to win 2 prizes. No, we don't. If you're going off at 1 or 2 at a lot of these clubs, you got to shoot 66 or better to even have a chance, And then you get the pins and dumb spots and all 9 or 18 of them, and then now you're playing defensive and you can't make birdies. So you get the guys that are 6 to 10 that should be 3 or 4 that just hit it to the middle of the green. They two putt for their par net birdie, and they move on. And then before you know it, they're 10 under, and then they'll hit a ball out of bounds or whatever to make sure they come in 7 or 8 because they don't want to run away with it. They want to finish just enough to win. But it just happens again and again and again. And until somebody stands up and says something, nothing's going to change. Every tournament I've ever played in, winning gross was my goal. I don't care if it's my name on the trophy as the tournament winner. I could care less. Give me the gross prize. As long as the prize is the same, which it should be, which it is at 90% of clubs, because they understand, we have no chance. But it's just, you get clubs that think too hard and they try to do too many things and think outside the box, and it becomes about tea gifts and parties and, food, and it just kind of is like everything but golf. Golf and conditions are what make tournaments. Handicaps have to be right, and if they're not, good players aren't going to play. You get too many 10 to 20 handicaps that get on the board because they're businessmen and they support the club and they want to help, but they don't know what they're trying to do. The good ones, the guys that are humble, ask the professionals. The guys that don't. That's the ones that start throwing things against the wall, and you start seeing dumb decisions being made. As a golf professional, I would never put my name on a decision that I didn't agree with. If my owner came to me and said, "Hey, we're doing this for a tournament," okay, well, it comes from ownership, not the golf shop. I protected myself, and I would always tell the superintendent, same thing. Listen, if they're telling you to do this a certain way, putting in a dumb out of bounds, interior out of bounds on a certain hole, don't let them bully you into responsibility. Tell them, okay, I'll do it. You're my boss. You're telling me what to do. I'll do it, but I'm not taking ownership of it. Let them take ownership of it. Too many times golf professionals get hung out to dry, and then the next board comes in and they say, well, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do anything to fix it? Well, I told them it was wrong. Well, yeah, but you didn't do anything to fix it. Okay, on to the next, and they get canned. Well, it's the board ahead of them's fault. But listen, don't let them hang you out to dry. Tournaments are bad in this area because too many golf pros don't get listened to. The tournament that we played last fall at my former club, the golf professional goes on and on and on. I keep telling them about the pins and how dumb it is. And they come out with the excuse, oh, everybody else has to play it that way. You know how much harder it is to make a natural birdie than a net birdie? You guys have no clue because you've never been there and you never had to do it. So no, we're not playing for two prizes. We have no chance. We have to play great to even be in the mix to cash. So, you know, it, so many members have reached out privately and agreed with me, but they're too intimidated because there's a bully with no clue and a lot of money running our golf course. And they know if they speak out, he's going to do something negatively towards them or their clique. You know, I'm sorry. I was brought up. You punch bullies in the face. You know, you talk shit to me and you badmouth me and disrespect me, you're gonna get it in return. I'm not that dude. I'm not gonna take it, and I tell it like it is. You know, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I sugarcoated it for 6 years. I tried to play nice. I tried to give you suggestions on how to fix how bad the conditions are, and you told me, and I quote, "You don't know what the fuck you're talking about." Okay, come on the podcast, both of you, Dumb and Dumber. Come on the podcast and let's discuss it. You won't, because you know I do know what I'm talking about. And you can't make excuses in front of the 1,000 people that I have listening to me. You know, the meme currently in my story says it all. No one is more focused on trashing your name than somebody worried you're about to tell the truth. You know, I've heard the VP talking behind my back on multiple occasions. When I asked him if we had a problem, he clammed up and said something just as disrespectful. Oh, I just don't understand why my staff can't do what you do. Because they can't. Just like I would never ask you to fix an engine just because you sell cars. They can't do what I do because I'm pretty damn good at it. It's so frustrating. They're just so disrespectful. And then I got members reaching out to me, dude, I love what you're doing, but I can't believe you said that. Why? What do I have to lose? Nothing. I literally have nothing to lose, and I literally could care less. So I'm having fun. I'm having a blast. The people that I'm talking to, the national guests that I have coming, I can't wait. Unfortunately, Bernie Carbo got sidetracked at the field um, on Friday. He reached out afterwards, and we're going to get him on again in the next couple of weeks. I have a couple guests planned that kind of fit what I'm doing. So it may be a situation where we get him on maybe in 2 or 3 weeks. You know, Jeremy from Fujikura, and if I can get Ben Showman from Clover, they kind of fit the storyline of me giving away a free driver. So I'm going to try to get them on before sooner rather than later. So if Bernie comes on, we'll see what we can do and we'll see what we can get him into. But Sean Riley from Inside the Park came on and he was going to talk baseball with us. But me and him actually started going on a little bit of a golf conversation. And some of the topics that I'm talking about tonight came up. But we did it in a little bit more friendly way. I just wanted to rant about it because of the gentleman that I ran into this morning. Like I said, he's not even a golfer. And he's talking about things that he sees at all these clubs. And it's sad, you know, to see a well-respected place like my former club turn into what it's turning into right now is so bad. Um, it's a clown show. And like I said, they won't come on the podcast because the only thing it can do now is get them bounced on my knee and hurt their reputation. You know, not that their reputation can get much worse. Um, they know if they come on, I'll make them my little boy. So they won't. But again, I've forgotten more about the industry than they've ever known or they ever will know. They've become the laughing stock of the NEPGA. I haven't heard a positive thing uttered about the place in years. And they're too blind and ego driven to admit their mistakes. You know, now you got them throwing things against the wall like pizza ovens and stuff like that. There's no revenue out of a pizza oven other than their membership. Due to lack of revenue, we now have to offer our restaurant to the public. That's the next step. That's what privately owned clubs do. See LeBaron Hills. Um, you guys, as members, don't speak up and you take it from a bully. It just sucks. It sucks to see what's going on there. But if I'm going to play public golf, I'm just going to go pay to play public golf. And, every time I walked in that place, I got pissed off because I'm going to say it. The superintendent is about as bad as I've ever seen. He's about as lazy as I've ever seen. I've never been anywhere where they don't cut cups. It's golf 101, and the fact that the membership isn't outraged about it just tells you the type of golfer that they're going after. It's crazy. I've said it time and time again. Like I said, I tried to offer my solutions and my help. I actually even offered $1,000 to pay the first $1,000 for the next stand to punch. This was a few years ago, and I was told we don't have to punch. We have special grass. Uh, it's just laughable at this point. DW Fields in Brockton is great right now. I've seen a few other golf courses. A lot of the public is punched right now, so we probably got to wait. But the Angry Marine sent me a text today. He played that the veterans event at George Wright, and he said the golf course was awesome. He said it was rock hard and lightning fast. Greens are supposed to have a sound when the ball lands on them. It should have a thump, not a splat. When you try to fix a ball mark that explodes from a splat, no matter what you do, you're going to end up with a hole in the middle of it, and it's going to look like you didn't fix it. Now, they have the green sand that they can put to hide it and cover it, but again, it's almost as bad as somebody not fixing it. So, but the conditions at my former place in terms of etiquette, bunkers not being raked, guys walking in the top side of a sod face bunker, not fixing ball marks. It was just crazy. It's just the typical public golf stuff, not something you should see at a club where guys are spending, at least 10, a lot of us 15 grand a year. So again, it's just one of those things that just frustrating in the golf industry because I'm seeing it happen more and more and more. And I'm watching Golf Pro and superintendent one after another get bullied into decisions that they know is not what's best for the club. And more importantly, the golf course. One of the things that the Angry Marine brought up, and I would have loved to get into it more about, and we probably will when I play Shannon and get to Thorny Lee, talk about the club itself, the vibe of the club and the morale of the club. Morale means everything. If you pull into the parking lot saying, the place is soaked again and the driveway's wet and your morale's going to be down, and the more that you see guys not fixing ball marks, the more that you say, why the hell should I do it? And the more that guys don't fix divots and rake bunkers, it just becomes commonplace and accepted. Members have to police themselves. If I see somebody not raking a bunker, as soon as I put the pin in, I'll walk over to the bunker and be like, I got it. If you're not going to do it, I will. Watch your boys, police your boys, make fun of them if they don't do what they're supposed to do. It's just crazy. I mean, the things that they're ranting and raving about, like driving the carts where they're supposed to be. I see board members constantly driving the carts where they're not supposed to be. Set the example. You're not above the law. I've heard board members' children at the bar saying, do you know who my father is? Listen, I don't care how much you've had to drink that night. Your father's not an owner. He's an elected official, elected by the members to serve the members. If he wants to be the GM, just cut him a salary and make him the GM, because all he's doing is messing things up. I almost lost out in playing the 4th of July tournament a few years ago because you guys got the dates wrong online. You had it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the tournament was Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday. It almost caused my partner not to be able to get the day off. So you would think, after all the complaints that you got, that would never happen again. Nope, it happened for the 4-ball this year. A paid advertisement with the wrong date. That shit just doesn't happen when people who know what they're doing and are in the golf industry and are paid to do a job. It doesn't happen. So again, it's one after another. It's laughable at this point. It's a clown show. So I can't help not talk about it, especially on Mondays when it's the Monday Meltdown. So this is what's going on in my life. These are the things that I struggle with. It's been no secret that I've been trying to work through some things mental health wise, and this has become my therapy for me. It feels good to come on here and get some things off my chest. Some of you may think I'm repeating myself, but it's conversations that people keep having with me. Again, like I said, this was caused by running into somebody this afternoon, and I wanted to get it off my chest. And it was a great way to preface the episode that's coming Friday. Me and Sean get into a conversation about the tournament we played, the tournaments he's played, where we are with our games, and how hard it is to play to your handicap, to truly play to your real handicap, not the bullshit 6 shots too high one. Yeah, so looking forward to it. The guys keep sharing. The faster we get to 1,500, the quicker I give out a free driver. So keep sharing. I appreciate the support. I love the comments. I love the questions. Oh, one thing I almost forgot. I've gotten a couple questions about Live and guys wearing the uniforms and not wearing the uniforms. I reached out to a buddy that works at FootJoy who has total knowledge of the situation because I saw Peter Uline wearing a FootJoy on his collar. The players are all wearing whatever they were wearing contract wise until that contract is up. So you got Brooks still wearing Nike, guys like that. Cam, I think, is still wearing the Penguin. But as soon as their contracts are up, you will see that change and they will be wearing their team uniform. So it'll be interesting to see if each team will have a sponsor and go after their own clothing line, or if Liv will go sign a contract like the NFL or NBA or whatever and have everybody in the same company. But those are just things to follow along on and just kind of see what's going on. Today is Tuesday, so that means in a couple days, FootJoy's Todd Snyder line drops. I've seen some samples. They look awesome. The shoes look great. Little copycat G4-ish. I'm not a huge fan of companies copying other companies. The camouflage sole and the pastel soles that they did with their spring collection. A little too G4 Gallivanter. You're too good for that. Come up with your own ideas and be creative. I know my friends at FootJoy aren't going to like that, but again, like I said, I tell like it is. And I'm sure they'll have an opportunity to come on and defend their honor on here. So, those guys are always welcome. My one buddy's an executive, and I told him he's not going to like coming on because I'm not going to be the groupie that'll give him a tongue bath because he's a big high up at FootJoy. He'll get the same trash talk that he gets from me when we play golf. So, I can't wait. Like I said, I'm having a blast. I hope you guys are too. It seems like the comments, it seems like the follows, it seems like you guys are all enjoying it. The comments, the most feedback that I've been getting is I love the fact that you're keeping it real. I love the fact that you talk about mental health. Again, it's one of those things where when everything went crazy in the fall and Bogey passed, nothing mattered and I didn't care. Nothing had consequences, and it led to a blog, and the blog led to just me venting, and it was amazing. I became myself again. For too long I had been told I was wrong. Everything I did, everything I said, there was too many people that what I said affected. Now I can say whatever I want. I have nothing to worry about. The people closest to me have told me they support this idea. They think it's great, and they're following along. So, yeah, I kind of had my Nicolas Cage moment. I was going to go to Florida, drink until I didn't come back. That's it. There was no consequences. Nothing mattered. But somewhere along the line, I woke up, and I'm glad I did because I've got some amazing friends, and I can't wait to start sharing them with you. The ones I've already shared have been great. They've been a blast, and I can't wait for them to come back on. And I'm excited for the ones that I have in the future. So stay tuned, keep sharing. I can't wait to see who wins the Cobra driver. It's going to be fun. Again, I'm calling him out by name, Ben Showman. I'd love to get you on to come and pick the winner. So when we get around 1,500, I'm going to reach out to you this week. I know you're a busy guy. I'm not going to email you while you're at the PGA Championship. So, yeah, other than that, I hope you guys are enjoying it. One last thing, I apologize. Anybody following along on Spotify, these Monday meltdowns in episode 11, I believe, for some reason, no, episode 10, Tasho and Harrison, for some reason, didn't upload on Spotify. It is everywhere else. I had to use the backup file, so I think that might be what happened. I may just upload the first half of that episode and then in the notes tell you guys to come and watch it on YouTube. So, other than that, I think that covers it. Can't wait to hear you guys. Can't wait for you guys to hear me and Sean. It was a blast, and I can't wait to report from me playing some golf. It's starting to feel good, and we're gonna start hitting some balls, and hopefully, before you know it, it'll be 9 and then 18 holes. But for right now, this is it. This is the golf. This is my extent of golf. Is talking it, and I'm having a blast doing it. So until next time, guys, let's go.